Because if we're all amateurs, then we're going to be doing a lot of things wrong and we're going to be bumping into each other. And so this last part really goes out to all the students and to all the professionals out there in the world. Stress is a real thing, and it only seems to get worse in situations that add a lot of political, religious, and socioeconomic burdens to people. But you find yourself in finals week. The world's probably not going to end. The crazy thing is, even if the world was going to end, then what would your final matter? And if the world wasn't going to end, how would your final matter too much? For the person who's always worried about their job, what could it really matter? On both these things, I really want to add the precursor that you should, to some degree, care, but not necessarily care about the performance, care because of what you hope to get out of them. I hope that maybe you worry a little bit about your grades because you want to maybe have a family and a job someday, and so maybe you're suffering through this final so that you can achieve both of those. But then remember that the only reason you're doing this is because you want the job and you want the family. And so remember about those things, and then you'll actually worry less. Because yes, there's a lot of stress and pressure, but guess what? There's a lot of different jobs and a lot of different ways to have a family. And that one final is not the way to get to them. There's other ways. But if you're going to do this final, then you can do it. Like, you can actually do this. And if you don't do it, then that was the best you could do. Because once it's done, it's done. If you're doing a job and you're always worried and you're always stressed and you're always anxious, maybe there's other things to do in life. But think about this. If you think the world is melting down all the time, then the world will feel like it's melting down. If in finals you feel like it's at the end of the world, then it can literally make your body feel like it's the end of the world. People die of heart attacks. People have nervous breakdowns. People have panic attacks. And other phenomena of panic, of anxiety, of stress, and of worry. Although, precursor, there are other things that cause these things. These things can happen just because you get yourself put in a tizzy when you could avoid those things. If you have a heart attack because you're always so high strung about something happening and you're wanting to survive, well, actually, probably the best thing to do is stop worrying so you don't have the heart attack. Because if your one big fear is dying and not being able to see your grandkids, then if you're spending all your time worrying, you're actually elevating your heart rate and making it less likely that you'll survive to have your grandkids because you're putting yourself in strain and you might be sleeping less and you might be not having the best of habits. And so every little thing that you're doing that you think is actually good and helping you have a good end is actually not the thing that you should be doing. So right now, if you're still stressed, you're still worrying, well, that's okay. You're human. And I hope that every time you can remember that you are human and that you worry and that is all okay. But while you're doing this, I hope you are able to tell yourself again and again that you're just an amateur, that it's okay to fail, that you're going to miss some things. And the cool thing is that I've waited to mention until the end because I'm a sucker for hope. The cool thing about worrying is that sometimes you miss the good things coming to you. Because just as a person could miss a car about to hit them, or miss a gas leak, someone might also not know when they're going to get a promotion. Someone might also not know when a relative is going to visit them out of the blue that they've been wanting to see forever. Someone might not know when they're about to meet the person of their dreams. Someone might not know when that next new job is going to open up. And that's the really cool thing, is that some really horrible things can happen to you. And I'm never going to downplay that. There's going to be some awful, horrific things that happen in this life that just make you want to lose all hope, will make you lose all belief, and honestly make you want to hide under your shell and just leave. And because of that, it's natural to worry. In fact, maybe you're worrying because you're so wanting to not be in this state of panic, of stress, that you're worrying to get out of it. And I get that. But just like in drowning, if you're really struggling, ironically, the best thing that you can do is relax a bit. Not because it makes you drown less, but because if you're exhausting yourself, you're going to actually drown. But by using less energy and doing things that help you use more mass in the water, you actually stay above the water longer. And if your end goal is just to survive, you actually do a lot better job of that. And again, in this life, all we can do is survive and live. So instead of struggling all the time and feeling like we're dying and the world's going to end, what we can do is to try to figure out the ways within these things that we can use worry effectively, but that we can also not totally ruin every spark in our life. Because if we spend all of our time worrying, then maybe we accidentally screw things up and don't get the promotion that was about to come because we say some really hostile thing to our boss when they were literally about to tell us that we got a promotion. But because we were so worried about what's going to happen next that we forgot that we actually like our boss. And we were going to say something nice to them. And if we hadn't been worrying, something would have happened. But again, we wouldn't have known that because as amateurs, you don't see things coming. When you worry, you have to blend hope into it at some point. Because worrying with hope is what effectively counteracts the despair that goes with worrying. Because just as worrying is a tool, it can be used in a constructive and destructive manner. And so the reason that I am stressing the need for a hope in your worry is because hope is some degree of a steering wheel when things go wrong. Because you're going to have left turns, and that's unavoidable. But when you end up in traffic, full-on collision, everything's gone wrong, lost a job, break up in one day, the economy tanked, nuclear apocalypse, you name it. Just an awful day, and what seems to be about to be an awful lifetime. It's in those times that, well, hope seems useless, first of all, and that the only thing that really seems like it has any power is despair. And maybe worry starts to seem like something you can be really good at, because if you combine worrying and despair, you can actually fool yourself into believing that you have a better ability to predict the future. Don't believe me? Well, think about it. If I spend every day thinking that things are going to go wrong, since I'm an amateur warrior, something's going to go wrong at some point, and I'll be able to say, knew it. Look how smart I am. I saw that coming. Versus you see some person who says, oh, it's going to be a good day. And then you're like, dude, you just stepped in a puddle. It should be an awful day. Well, the thing that you missed in that instance was that person figured they'd probably have something happen to them that day. Like, usually when I wake up, there's a good chance something bad during the day is going to happen. I don't know what, but I really have no way to avoid it. But there could also be something really good that could happen. And the key difference is that if good and bad things can happen to you, that if you believe that only bad things will happen to you, then you'll only see the bad things happening to you and you'll miss the good things that are happening. You'll miss the fact that when you missed your bus, your friend just happened to stop by and be able to take you to work. And maybe you took advantage of that and you didn't think, wow, what are the odds of that? Holy shoot, I never thought my friend would be back here. Or you spent your day saying, man, this final sucks. You never saw the fact that your fruit that you loved was 2-for-1 deal. And you never saw that coming. But really, for someone else, that could have made their day. They could have their favorite fruit and have 2 of them for the same price. Well, in worrying about a final or having your favorite fruit, I know which one I'd choose. Worrying about your final wouldn't have done any more good if you diluted your state of thinking to a state where you're so stressed out that you're not able to think. Versus if maybe you took a break to eat your favorite piece of fruit and be like, man, this is some good fruit. Huh. Speaking of fruit, I remember this South American country and banana republics. Oh shoot, I remember more about my history final than I would have thought. Wow, I guess I'm ready to do this final. All of a sudden, look at that. You're living. And so, as an end precursor, if anyone who listens to this videos, as an end precursor, I'm not some power positivity guy. I'm going to always say life's going to suck at some point and bad things are going to happen. In fact, if bad things don't happen, I'm going to be pretty amazed, and that'll be good for you. But bad things are going to probably happen at some point. I'm never going to say that believe good things will happen and good things are bound to happen. Because you could believe that good things are going to happen and they can never happen to you. But because you believe they could happen, you might be better off than believing only bad things can happen. Because maybe that could help you weather a lot of bad things. And I'm telling you this because life is going to throw a lot of bad things at you. If I can give any skills to people, it's the ability to get through bad things and survive. Because just like worrying, you're supposed to be able to survive and thrive. And if you're not surviving and thriving, then this act of worrying is counterproductive and is hurting you. And this act of despair, if it leads you into a state where you're not able to live, then it is counterproductive. I hope that it is possible to have a life where you can use worry as an amateur to live. Accept yourself and accept others and just get by. And maybe, just maybe, have a little bit of serendipity. Thank you very much for listening if you did. I really appreciate you all, if I have listeners. But if I don't, why should I worry about that? At the end of the day, if I get to make videos and I get to hope that someday my video helps someone, then the fact that I made a bunch of videos that no one ever watched, but they had one person be helped, changed one person's life, I would never need 1 million viewers, because one would be enough. And if none watch, well, at least I spent my time trying to help in some degree to what I knew. I hope that you find some way that you can help, and that you can worry less, you can do more. Because at the end of the day, maybe no one will ever see what you do. Maybe no one will ever know what you do. Maybe no one will fully understand you. Maybe it'll be that next artist that someone 10 years from now, after your death or so, is like, that was actually the artist of our generation. That was the person that defined this new movement. And you would never have known it. So you can't worry about that. Can't worry about fame. Can't worry about glory. Can't worry about money. Can't worry about death. All things will come to you at some point. And in this uncertainty, the only certainty you get to have is your perspective. I hope at some point you're able to live, you're able to love, and maybe you finally accept your application to the Amateur Worriers League memberships. See y'all on their side.